You don't have days, you have hours, because on August 19th, the moon hits a position it hasn't touched in decades. One that doesn't just shift your mood, it locks your trajectory, and once it locks, there's no reversing it. This isn't metaphor, it's mechanics. The alignment is already happening, reshaping the ground under your every step. What you've been feeling as tension, sudden changes, or that sense that time is running out, is the scan. It's searching for what no longer belongs, and cutting it away. This moon doesn't glow softly, it interrogates, it pulls truth to the surface, and leaves nothing to hide behind. By tomorrow night, your path will be set, and if you miss the signal, you won't feel inspiration. You'll feel the weight of what's gone. This moon on August 19th, 2025, is like a spotlight turning toward you at exactly the right moment, revealing parts of your life you've been ready to step into, but maybe didn't realize yet. It's the kind of alignment that makes everything sharper, clearer, and more alive. You might find yourself suddenly understanding what truly matters, feeling more connected to your own strength, and ready to step past limits you once thought were fixed. This isn't about chasing something outside yourself. It's about unlocking what's been waiting inside, quietly building until now. Emotionally, it can bring a deep wave of motivation and confidence. Physically, it may inspire you to move, create, and take action. Spiritually, it's a call to step into the version of yourself that's been waiting to arrive. If this moon feels like your moment, type "I'm ready" in the comments below. Also, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Right now, the moon is moving into a position that turns August 19th, 2025 into a date worth circling in your mind and heart. It's a rare moon event, the kind that seems to press pause on the ordinary and invite you into something brighter, richer, and more connected. Imagine a spotlight in the night sky, not just shining above, but almost leaning closer, as if it has something personal to share with you. This isn't about superstition, it's about recognizing that certain moments have a different kind of charge, and this one is glowing with meaning. On a spiritual level, August 19th brings a unique mix of influence from both the moon's position and the flow of the month's energy cycle. The moon has long been seen as a mirror for human emotions, reflecting our inner shifts, just as it reflects sunlight. When it moves into this rare formation, it acts almost like an amplifier, making whatever is inside you more noticeable, more alive. For many, it's a time when clarity breaks through, when hidden priorities rise to the surface, and the fog starts to lift. Astrologically, this moment is linked to cycles of release and initiation. Think of it as standing on a bridge between what's been and what's next. You're not being forced to rush across, but the view is so compelling you might not want to stay where you are. The moon on August 19th opens space for fresh ideas, for decisions that feel naturally timed, for connections that seem to click without explanation. It's an atmosphere that encourages you to realign your steps with what truly inspires you. Numerology adds another layer to this moment. The date August 19th, 2025, contains repeating 80s, a number often associated with balance, momentum, and long-term growth. In many traditions, the number 8 is seen as the symbol of flow. What you give out comes back, what you nurture expands, and what you neglect fades. It's a reminder that the seeds you plant now in thought and action will shape the months ahead. The 19 in the date carries the energy of endings that make way for beginnings, while the 2025 ties it to collective transformation, hinting that your personal changes are part of a larger movement. Spiritually, this rare moon event works a bit like a turning page in a story. You've read all that came before, you know the characters, the challenges, the themes, but the page you're about to step into hasn't been written in your daily life yet. That's where the magic lies, in realizing that the story is still unfolding, and you get to influence how it goes. This moon acts as a natural motivator, not in a loud, disruptive way, but in a steady, undeniable push toward what's next for you. On August 19th, some will experience a strong pull towards self-reflection, looking honestly at where they've been and where they want to go. Others may notice a sudden burst of creative inspiration, a new idea, or the courage to make a change that's been quietly waiting in the background. And for many, it will be a mix, part release, part initiation, part deeper trust in the direction life is flowing. When we talk about rare moon events like this, it's not about forcing transformation or chasing an unrealistic ideal. It's about stepping into the current at the exact time the water runs strongest, letting it carry you toward new experiences, new connections, and a richer version of your own story. The moon on August 19th is not asking you to be anyone else. It's simply lighting the path for who you've been becoming all along. A moon event like this moves in quietly, but carries a presence that's impossible to ignore. It doesn't rush you, it draws you in at a steady pace, as if the night itself is guiding you towards something meaningful. The light is softer, yet every detail in its glow seems sharper, more awake, almost as though the world has been given a gentle polish. This is the space we step into now, one where your attention expands, where the background noise of the day starts to fade, and you can actually connect with the deeper layers of your own awareness. The 19th of August isn't here to demand change. It's here to offer a moment where change feels natural, almost effortless. Think of it as a doorway that opens without creaking, revealing a path that's been there all along. Your part in this is simple. Be present enough to step across. That's all it takes for transformation to begin. As the rare lunar arrangement settles overhead, its presence seems to weave itself into the way you think, the way you move, the way you connect. It's not about chasing grand gestures, it's about aligning with moments that expand your horizon, one breathless step at a time. Now bring your attention inward. You don't have to close your eyes to do this. You simply allow your awareness to soften toward what's happening inside. Let the sounds around you become distant, not because you're blocking them out, but because you're tuning into something far more personal. In this space, the moon's glow becomes more than light. It becomes a quiet signal that you are exactly where you need to be. Every thought slows, every movement becomes deliberate, and in that stillness, your own clarity begins to rise. Picture yourself standing in a wide open space under that lunar glow, the horizon stretching endlessly ahead. You're not trying to control anything. You're simply observing, allowing the landscape within and around you to speak in its own way. The ground under you feels steady, your posture relaxed yet strong. This is where you begin to anchor into the rhythm of this moment. You're neither rushing forward nor clinging to what's behind. Instead, you're letting the present shape you naturally. Now let your focus drift toward what you want to welcome in over the days ahead. See it not as a faraway vision, but as something already within reach, waiting for your invitation. It could be a state of mind, a relationship, a goal, or simply a greater sense of harmony in your everyday life. Whatever it is, imagine it as though it's already woven into the fabric of your reality, as if it has always belonged here. You're not trying to make it happen, you're allowing it to meet you halfway. Bring in a quiet inner statement, something simple and personal, that speaks to your direction. You might tell yourself, I'm ready to grow in ways that feel right for me, or I'm open to moments that change my path for the better. Let it be a phrase that feels natural, not forced. Something you could carry in your mind, like a familiar rhythm. You're planting it here in this precise moment under the glow of a moon that magnifies intention. As you hold that thought, let your awareness stretch a little wider. See the connection between your intentions and the space around you, how your thoughts seem to ripple out, how they shift the atmosphere in ways you can't always measure. The beauty of a moon event like this is that it doesn't demand instant proof. It works quietly, letting your energy settle into the right places, so the results arrive at the right time. Your body remains calm, your mind anchored, and yet there's a quiet hum of anticipation that lingers just beneath the surface. It's the kind of readiness that isn't about rushing into action, but about knowing you're lined up with what matters. Every breath in steadies you. Every breath out clears a little more space for what's next. You're moving without strain, adjusting without overthinking, evolving without needing to force it. The 19th of August may pass in hours, but what it opens can last much longer. This is a seed moment. One of those rare times when the conditions for growth are so naturally aligned that all you have to do is be aware enough to water them. The moon overhead becomes your reminder, your quiet witness, and your silent partner in the changes ahead. The glow of this moon event stretches across the sky like a silver thread, linking you to something larger, yet still deeply personal. It's not a spotlight that overwhelms, it's a presence that lingers, allowing you to lean into it at your own pace. The stillness around you becomes almost magnetic, and without effort, you find yourself tuning into the finer details of this moment. There's no rush here, no timeline to chase, only the awareness that right now is a rare kind of space you don't often enter. Your mind begins to unclutter, as if the weight of scattered thoughts is sliding quietly aside. A gentle clarity rises, clear enough to let you see possibilities that were hidden when things felt too busy. It's as though a window has opened, and the view beyond is wider than before. You realize you can carry this perspective with you, not just tonight, but in the choices you make from here on. Shift your attention to what you wish to release, not with tension, but with ease. Think of something that no longer fits, something that has taken up space for too long. See it as an object in your hands. And now, set it down in the soft light beneath you. It doesn't vanish instantly, but you've placed it outside of yourself. You're lighter without it, and that space you've cleared will soon be filled with something better. Now, turn toward what you want to welcome in. Visualize it, arriving, not as a sudden spark, but as a steady unfolding. You might imagine it as a color flowing toward you, a sound growing clearer, or even a gentle warmth wrapping around your path forward. Let it blend naturally into your world without trying to define every detail. Sometimes, the most meaningful changes arrive in ways we can't predict. Whisper an inner promise to yourself, not one you'll forget tomorrow, but one you intend to live by. It can be as simple as I choose to move toward what inspires me, or I open my days to what brings me forward. These words are your anchor. Keep them with you when the days feel ordinary, because their meaning will continue to expand. As your awareness stretches outward again, you begin to see how the glow above is not separate from you, it's mirrored inside you. The quiet strength you feel now is the same steady strength the moon shows as it moves through its cycle. This connection is timeless, and yet it is yours to use in the here and now. Let this awareness settle, knowing that even when this rare alignment of light and timing fades from the sky, its influence will continue working through you. The path ahead doesn't need to be rushed. The shift you've embraced tonight will unfold in ways that match your pace, your readiness, and your truth. On the 19th of August, you've done more than observe a rare lunar event. You've stepped into its rhythm, invited it into your intentions, and allowed it to mark a turning point that only you can fully understand. The moon will move on, but the imprint of this night will remain, quietly guiding your steps in the weeks to come. The night carries a rare kind of weight, the sort that makes you stand taller, without even trying. Above, the moon hangs in quiet confidence, as though it has been waiting for this exact point in time to speak through light alone. The 19th of August doesn't just appear on the calendar, it arrives with a silent power, drawing your awareness into places you might have avoided or overlooked. It's not loud, but it's impossible to ignore. You begin to realize that what's unfolding isn't simply about watching the sky. It's about the way the world seems to open small windows you didn't know were there. These are not windows to somewhere else, they are windows into you. The questions you've kept in the background start to surface. Questions about where you're headed, who you've been becoming, and whether the path you're on truly matches the person you are now. This is where the air seems to carry a different kind of rhythm. It's as if the steps you've been taking suddenly click into place, revealing how each move, whether bold or hesitant, has brought you to this exact crossroad. The moon above isn't offering answers carved in stone, it's holding up a mirror that shows you both the beauty and the truth of your own progress. You may see resilience you hadn't acknowledged, strength you didn't name, and a capacity for change that's been quietly growing without your notice. The more you lean into this awareness, the more it begins to reshape the way you view your own story. It's not about the things that didn't go right, it's about the way those moments carved space for something better. You begin to sense that the timing of this rare lunar event isn't coincidence, it's a reflection of a larger cycle that has been working in your favor even when you doubted it. Light falls across the land in a way that seems to outline the next chapter before you've even turned the page. This isn't the kind of change that comes with noise and chaos, it's the kind that moves with grace, as if it knows exactly where it's going. You realize that clarity doesn't always arrive through grand gestures. It can appear in quiet revelations, in those seconds where everything aligns in your awareness, and you can no longer unsee what's true. It's in this state that a deeper truth begins to settle in. The life you've been living has always been shaped by moments like this, turning points that are easy to overlook until you recognize their power. The difference tonight is that you're here, present enough to witness it while it happens, to anchor it in your own mind, so it becomes more than a fleeting impression. The moon above acts almost like a guide, though it doesn't tell you where to go. Instead, it illuminates the steps that are already under your feet. You realize you don't need to wait for permission to move forward. You don't need the world to line up perfectly before you decide to act. What you need has already been with you all along. This night is simply the reminder. Even as you stand here, you begin to feel the pull of what comes next. Not because you're being pushed toward it, but because the path ahead now feels undeniably yours. You've reached a point where hesitation starts to lose its grip, where the old doubts begin to fade under the light of a truth you can't ignore. And that truth is simple: you are ready to live in a way that reflects the deepest parts of who you are, without holding back. The stillness around you is not empty, it's charged with the promise of what can be built from here. The rare moon event becomes more than an astronomical occurrence, it becomes a turning point etched into the fabric of your personal story. From this night forward, you carry the clarity it offered, the perspective it sharpened, and the quiet courage it left behind. It's in this space, with the moon steady above, that the realization takes full shape. The night isn't giving you something you didn't already possess. It's showing you how much you've underestimated what's already within you. The light doesn't point toward far-off horizons. It settles gently on the ground beneath you, almost reminding you that the next step starts exactly where you stand. On the 19th of August, the rare glow becomes a quiet partner in this awakening, one that doesn't fade when the sky turns dark again. You begin to understand that real turning points don't arrive with loud declarations. They slip in through the moments when your perspective changes forever. It might be one thought, one choice, one shift in how you carry yourself, but it's enough to alter the trajectory of everything that follows. That's the kind of night you're in now. The scenery around you may remain the same, but your place within it feels entirely renewed. Your mind starts to weave connections between the past and the present in a way that feels both natural and undeniable. You can trace the steps that brought you here, not to dwell on them, but to recognize the quiet precision with which they've built this exact moment. Every challenge, every delay, every unexpected turn suddenly makes sense in the light you're standing in now. This isn't about rewriting history, it's about owning it, claiming it as the foundation for what's coming next. There's a moment where you almost forget to think about what's ahead, because you're so deeply grounded in the now. The moon above is no longer something you're watching, it's part of the rhythm you've stepped into. It doesn't need to tell you what's possible, it's enough that you know it for yourself. And with that knowing comes a steady kind of bravery. The kind that doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. You realize that transformation is rarely about dramatic reinvention. It's more often about leaning into the parts of you that have been waiting for space to grow. The night seems to give that space freely, as though time itself is stretching, just enough for you to take in the full scope of where you are. This is not a pause, it's an arrival. And once you've arrived, you can never go back to moving through your life half-aware. The truth becomes sharper with each passing minute. This is your moment to claim, not because the moon says so, not because a date demands it, but because something deep inside you has recognized. You can almost feel the shift in the way you'll step into tomorrow, not with uncertainty, but with the quiet certainty that you've crossed an invisible line into the life you're meant to be living. As the night deepens, you hold on to that awareness like a thread that will guide you forward. The rare moon event becomes more than a memory. It's a touchstone you can return to whenever the noise of the world threatens to blur your focus again. The insight you've gained doesn't fade with the light, it becomes part of how you see, how you move, how you choose. When the moon finally dips toward the horizon, nothing around you has changed, yet everything inside you has. And that is the profound revelation of this night. You are no longer waiting for a perfect moment to arrive. You have already stepped into. When we open ourselves to this kind of alignment, we're not just waiting for transformation, we are actively inviting it. The moment we say, "I am ready," the universe begins to rearrange circumstances, people and opportunities in our favor. Sometimes it's subtle. A conversation you overhear, a small piece of advice you read, a chance meeting with someone whose words feel like they were meant just for you. Other times, it feels as if everything in your life has suddenly been rearranged in the blink of an eye. Both forms are equally powerful. The quiet signs are like whispers from the divine, while the big shifts are the thunderclaps that say, "Now is the time." That's why, as you step away from this video today, I encourage you to stay deeply aware of the in-between moment. You might find yourself looking at the clock and seeing repeating numbers, feeling a sudden rush of emotion without any obvious reason, or having vivid dreams that seem to carry hidden meaning. None of these are coincidences. They are invitations, gentle knocks on the door of your awareness. And when you answer that knock, you open yourself to being guided more clearly. In these next few days, a window is open. You may feel pulled towards certain decisions you've been delaying. You may notice that a difficult situation suddenly feels lighter, or that someone you've been disconnected from reaches out unexpectedly. These are not random. They are the natural result of the energetic tides shifting in your favor. Think of it as a current in the ocean. You can fight it, exhaust yourself, and go nowhere. Or you can align yourself with it and be carried toward where you're meant to be. And trust doesn't mean knowing every step, it means believing that each step will appear exactly when you need. As we close this journey together today, I want to remind you, your engagement here isn't just a YouTube thing. It's an energetic exchange. When you comment, you're not only sharing your thoughts with me, but also declaring to the universe that you are present, you are awake, and you are ready to participate in your own unfolding story. So take a deep breath right now, and as you exhale, imagine releasing any lingering fear or doubt. Then let your fingers type in the comments what you are calling in for yourself during this shift. Write it like it's already yours. Let this space be a collective declaration of our readiness. If you felt this message touch something deep inside, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, not just as a link, but as an act of generosity. Someone out there is quietly searching for the sign, the message or the encouragement to keep going, and you could be the one to place it in their hand. And before you go, remember, this shift is not the end. It's the opening, an opening for you to step into the chapter you've been sensing, but haven't yet fully claimed. The alignment we've spoken of today is already in motion. The next choice you make could be the one that changes the entire direction of your path. August 19th marks a rare moon event that arrives like a spotlight over the horizon, and it's no coincidence you're here for it. In moments like this, voices join across distances, forming a space where transformation is not only possible, but already beginning. When we gather here, it's more than watching a video. It's becoming part of a shared movement, each person adding their own light to the whole. To keep that light alive, drop your words in the comments. not as small remarks, but as declarations of where you're heading next. Share this message with someone who needs to be reminded of their own strength. When you hit like, it's a ripple effect, carrying this energy further than you can measure. Our community grows stronger every time someone new steps in and decides to be present for these turning points. Subscribing is your way of saying you're not letting these moments pass you by, that you're walking this road alongside others who are just as committed. Your engagement here is more than numbers. It's an imprint, a sign to the universe that you're awake to its timing and ready to meet it. And when you speak up, share, and return, you're adding your voice to something larger than yourself. So let's keep this alive together. Comment your intention, like this to send it forward, and subscribe so you're here for the next opening. What happens in this space doesn't stay here. It follows you into your days, your choices, and the way you move into what's coming next. This is where it begins.